Welcome back to the channel. OG Blade Reviews here once again. If you're new to the channel, then welcome. Glad to have you here. Maybe you can enjoy this review, review, or perhaps just kind of suss it out and see if it's something you might like or not. They're all going to be different. There's well over 1,100 or so reviews on my channel thus far. So going back to the old days of five form and this old sword. But I am now called OG Blade Reviews. Tenable. Tenable, if you didn't know it, is the offshoot budget level of Concept knives. And we do have another Tenable on the table today. I want to thank the folks at Tenable for sending this my way for review for you and for me. There we go. So this is none other than the Fenrir. Check it out. And it's going to look familiar to you. And I'm going to show you why in just a moment. But first, the heck is Fenrir? Fenrir? No, Fenrir. There you go. In Norse mythology, of course, Fenrir is a giant wolf and the son of the trickster god Loki and the giantess Angrboda. His name translates to Fen Dweller, or from the swamp. Feared for his strength and magical abilities, the gods chained him to a rock with a magical fetter made from unusual elements like a woman's beard. Leave it to the Norse. And fish breath. Oh my God. Fenrir bit off the hand of the war god Tyr when he became suspicious of the chain. Oh, you can go into endless stories when you're talking mythology, especially Norse, but also, of course, Greek, Roman, what have you. But there's more than one knife called the Fenrir. I know that Kubi has a Fenrir now that is designed by Damn Designs. So if you check out Kubi, they're doing knives in the same designs as the Damn Designs, except they're button locks now instead of liner and frame locks. Let's see if you can see double here. 2 years ago, 2 years ago, I got this Fenrir from Concept, bought it with my own dollars. Much fancier, but look at that. This is not the first knife where Tenable is making a literal copy of, because it's their own patent, of the Concept knives. Concept knives always being the higher end, the fancier, better materials, slightly different setup. So here you can see that the original was a liner, a hidden, no, not nested, actually a visible liner. And they may have changed it once or twice since this 2-year-old knife. But yeah, that's a liner lock with the scales over the top. So you could call it a hidden liner. No, not really. What am I talking about? It's just a liner, but it's a very thick liner. And it engages at about 30% maybe. And the blade steel on the original S35VN. The blade steel on the Tenable budget level is 14C28N. Not only that, but you've got a button lock. They both are using this reverse bolster sort of idea. That was what they called it when this came out. This, of course, is shred black carbon fiber, very beautiful, with a titanium rear bolster. You might argue that you can't call it a bolster if it's on the pommel end of the knife. I might agree. We've got finger choils on both knives. And as I said, the blades are identical. Don't know if I can keep it balanced there. Yeah. sort of. Well, let's get the original out of the way. Beautiful knife. Maybe we'll bring it back for compare. Stonewashed, S35VN. Very nice. They might have even come out with this since then in 20CV. That's what they've been doing with a lot of their higher end knives. But let's take a look at the Tenable Loki. A little more room there. This particular version, and there are 11, count them, 11 versions. I'll leave you the link to Tenable Knife Company. There are also a couple of them available on White Mountain. White Mountain, you can get 10% off with my discount code OG-Blade. And Tenable offers their own discount code that you just punch right in when you get there. So, either way. It is a deep carry clip on this one versus a not deep carry clip on the original, and it has a titanium clip on the original. This is a spring steel. This is a thumb stud opener, as is the original, except it is not a front flipper like we have with the original. So opens quite nicely with that thumb stud. A little bit of lock stick, just see if you can hear it. Might hear that little pop. They usually break in over time. Don't send it back because it's got a little lock stick. I think I've only run into 1 or 2 knives, button locks that have no lock stick. So there you go. The couple things I don't really care for, maybe it's just me and the pet peeve, but when they put this anodizing or coating, whatever it is, over the aluminum, and this is aluminum in this case and not titanium, this weird frosty sort of, it looks cheap to me. I've got it on a very nice tactical pen that I bought from Off-Grid Knives. Same sort of finish, and I complained to them as well. It just looks chintzy, cheap kind of thing. The blade has almost kind of the same sparkly sort of stonewash on it. You don't normally see this shiny, sparkly sort of stonewash. Stonewash is generally more dull. Otherwise, you've got the same knife with the same thumb ramp, quite nice, and jimping. And again, I'll bring the other one out for compare in just a moment. We've got a lanyard hole. We've got a switchable clip, which wasn't existent on the original. The liners on this are a little thinner than on the original Fenrir. There is weight relieving. You can see that without me even using a flashlight because of the G10 scales, the natural jade G10 scales. The clip sits flush on the surface of the rear bolster, and they are using flat-headed screws, which is becoming more and more common. We'd asked for it, and we got it. Body screws do appear to be T8. I do not have my wrench with me, my torque set nearby, but those all look to be the same size as the T8 pivot. So they're listening to us. No T6. There you go. Well, we'll get some measurements on it. Can always use the factory measurements, but I just kind of go through this routine for whatever reason. 7.9, 7.9 we'll call it. Maybe almost a 7.95. The blade, I think they're calling it 334. Cutting edge, 3 inches. Get some girth on it here. 3.5 millimeters, or gotta get that on there just right. How about right here? It's gonna be any thinner. 0.15 if I don't press. Yeah, 0.50 exactly. Gotta be, can't push too hard. I'm gonna call it a 1/2 inch. Closer up. Got some paper waiting in the wings too. We'll check out the factory edge. Get the scale ready, and what do we got for a weight? Well, we've got, I'm going to call that 4 ounces all day long. Got that little 08 hanging off the end. 4 ounces, very nice. Nice action on it. Should you want, and you will, you can fidget with it. Don't let it bounce like I just did. Got to release the button lock just in time, but there you go. That's how you can open and close it without using the thumb stud. The lockup, solid as can be. No blade play, no lock rock, none. And keep in mind that if you're worried about stickiness in the button, it does wear in over time. I've learned from my lesson, and I don't use oil when they're a little sticky. I mean, you could very carefully put it in there. Otherwise, you're going to end up with kind of a mess. And a week or two, it'll break in of opening and closing it. It certainly will. It's a nice blade shape. It's very triangular in appearance. And as I said, you can choke up right there. So you can pinch it between the thumb and the index finger. You can put your thumb way out there, Filipino hold. You can do that with a finger in the choil, or you probably want to use this grip if you're choking up like that. And you can stay back here in kind of a semi-saber grip angled through the palm, or square it up into a hammer grip. How does it work in Pikal? My system of Filipino Kali, Pikati Tercia, calls it Pakal, but of course everybody else in the world calls it Pikal. I think it's just a matter of the romanization of the Tagalog language, or Visayan language, not sure which, or it could be the difference between those two languages. Beautiful thumb ramp, beautiful, perfect for that point down grip. And you might ask yourself, well, how will the button lock hold up? I don't want to wreck up my background, but you know, it's not disengaging when I press on it. Compare. Well, of course, compare with the Concept Original. There we go. Everything in the profile is just about the same, except they give you a little bit more of an angle forward on that finger choil, and this is more of a partial circle. The finger groove here on the handle is the same. I mean, ever so slightly, you can see a little bit more length in there. If you get picky, you can see some subtle changes. Of course, the 2 holes there for the left side clip. Griptilian. Well, it's just about the same length as your Griptilian, you Griptilian lovers. And MSI is my carry today, Microtech MSI. And yeah, of course, it's going to be a bigger, longer knife, 1.5 inches at least longer overall. And close to 1 inch longer, about 3/4 inch longer blade, something like that. Just sub 4 inches on the blade on the MSI. Whole different handle configuration. I do like the MSI for daily carry. It's got that sort of sheep's foot look to the blade. I did say we'll check the sharpness, so let's do that. Nice. Of course, what did it get dull after the first paper cut? I don't think so. Yeah, it's got a fine edge. It is smooth. I find, you know, going right back to the beginning, whether it was Gerber or Buck or a Benchmade later on, that the factory edges are usually always polished on there. It's the last step they use. thus no micro serrations. Spyderco's the exception. Their blades, I haven't bought a Spyderco in a while, but they were coming through just, you don't do this with a Spyderco. You slice right into your finger. They got those micro serrations going. Sometimes some stropping will do it, believe it or not. Although stropping tends to polish an edge, but if you use the right stick with the right grit on your stropping leather, you will get some micro serrations. Usually diamond will do it. Croc stick, ceramic will do it. I do like Jared Neve's recommendation in that if your knife out of the box or in using it gets dull, strop it first. If stropping doesn't work, use a ceramic. And that's worked for me. It's a good suggestion. Of course, you want to change the edge or make it a little more aggressive, lower it, what have you, raise it even, use a diamond. Diamond is the way to go, and you will get micro serrations if you take that burr off properly. The Fenrir by Tenable, not Concept, but a division of Concept. These are going, this particular model going for about $68, and they're as low as like $56, $57 in models with maybe less glamorous handle materials. Blades are sometimes blackened, sometimes stonewashed. Again, you got a choice of 11 different ones. You'll see the link from Tenable that I will give you in the description. And if you can't see that, you just click a little more on YouTube. You know, a lot of people overlook that, and you get all of the links and everything else, but a lot of people don't know about that. Anyway, right now you're going to see my logo right there. Click on that logo and you will be able to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Be well, take care. Don't forget to give it a like and leave a comment. See you soon.